once during our live show.
That's fine. Okay, we're live. So
Shoot. You get what you do. So what Matthew says and hopes that way.
in the story.
Correlation. So the good on the ground is so much colder over here. Don't say I wonder why. I know why.
Until showtime.
8 minutes.
Until showtime.
Are you golden retiring too?
I'm surprised he doesn't.
How's our TikTok? 66 views.
Hey!
116 shares.
How'd you plug in last
I just plugged it in there. We might have to move it to like here. Oh.
We're did.
Oh. Eli is just straight vibing right now.
Are we keeping the doors open? You want to close them?
Oh yeah, true. Close it.
Lights not the glare. I could keep the lock in the shed just so no one walks in here.
Thought about that before.
Lock is in here and rob us? Yeah, that's crazy.
Do like that Friends episode where Joey's locked into the entertainment center thing.
Yeah.
And then some guy comes in trying to buy it. And he's like, "Yeah, you can fit in this cupboard." He goes, "Let me see." And he goes in the cupboard and then locks it. And they steal everything.
Carl Anthony Towns in his last 462 days has only won 4 NBA games. That's crazy.
It's
Conversation time.
Jimmy Graham's cap is 10.
What do you think about the Russ news today, Jake?
What happened?
More BS?
Really?
I don't know.
What's Trubisky's market value according to Spot Rack? 8.3 million.
A report this morning, the Seahawks are not happy with Russell's situation and are expected to look into offers for the 4 preferred teams. And then it came out 14 minutes ago that Seahawks are answering calls of Russell Wilson. They're not shopping him.
Interesting.
Until showtime.
Bro, tell your dad to call in.
Huh?
Tell your dad to call
Like
in.
he watches on YouTube now. He thinks YouTube's a lot easier than nothing.
Probably is.
I told him to take them.
Well, that's good that we're doing it on YouTube then.
Yeah. It's definitely more user friendly.
Yo. I was thinking, like, we could. I think it'd be so fun eventually to do like a daily YouTube live, like 20 minutes, just like Barstool does something like they do like a rundown. They call it. It's just like they just talk for like 30 minutes every day about just like the news and stuff, or like a daily gambling show. They also do that. That'd be so fun. Just like do your picks for the day.
Until showtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Kenny Galladay's name so far down the free agents list for Detroit.
Imagine rolling that one on the. Isn't that crazy?
get out. There's just Germans everywhere.
Isn't that crazy? Like, these are gonna protect you. Rolling in the.
Do you want to take the Spike one next? So we're gonna go pick up the girls.
Yeah.
Sir, Miriam said Ethan was going to drive.
Oh, she's just gonna drive them?
Ethan's going to drive me and Melania.
Okay. Never mind.
I'll probably still drive Subway though because I have class. So.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Until showtime.
Perfect drink.
Perfect.
I used to have one of those. I lost it.
Something
Perfect.
commented.
No, it literally is the same there. One boy didn't have engineering on it.
Commented. Is that Theo?
Is that Dr. Nude Cleveland?
Yeah. What did he say?
Hey man, want to play Fort?
He said he want to play for. Oh, I love Theo. Theo, you missed us. We did the Browns last week.
Would you pay Baker Mayfield $35 million?
I asked him on the pod.
What do you say?
What do you say?
I can't remember. I think he said like kind of the same thing. Like what do you say?
LOL.
He says, would you pay Baker?
Would you pay Baker $35 million?
35.
20 or less? Is that what it says?
20. I can't read.
20 or less. Don't let him go though.
That's gonna be tough.
I don't think he's gonna get 35.
That's true.
Yeah,
This might not even be a dilemma.
If he doesn't get 35 there, who's going to give him
Right,
a year
right.
back?
I think they might like be in a negotiation for a while, or like for a little bit. It might be stalled, and then he's gonna be like, "I'll just hit the open market," and every other team's like, "Yeah, we'll give you 20." And he's like, "Huh."
I'll take 29.
I could see him like playing hardball and they tag him once.
Yeah, true. Who would?
Who would give
Yeah,
him
no
35?
one. No one. I don't think anyone would.
Unless someone's really desperate.
Yeah, true.
Get pretty desperate to drop 35 on Baker Mayfield.
Depends on how he plays this year.
Until showtime.
1 year can change a lot.
Yeah.
He wins them a Super Bowl.
Your computer sounds like a jet engine.
What?
Your computer sounds like
That's what I told you. When
Yeah, it's like taking off, dude.
when I open, well, I've got like 8 tabs open.
Wait,
Me, you got a Tesla, well, you got a diesel.
where's the ball?
Jesus are cooler.
They want to do the thing.
Hit it.
Oh, why is it all
Yeah, why is
messed
it
up?
bent? It kind of threw me off. I'm like, oh, can you unbend it, John?
No.
Okay, well, we're going with the bend.
I'm not getting out of this chair.
Hey!
Fuck it. That's like the opposite of the room outside. It's like, instead of like this, it's like this.
Yeah.
Which one's easier? That's the question.
That one.
You think?
Yeah.
No backward shots are going in, though.
That's the thing. You can't. Some backward shots now are almost easier now. Like if it hits
No,
on the
100%,
backboard, like it's
yeah,
gonna
you gotta have
bounce
to
back
rebound.
in. But it's almost impossible to get a swish. That's for the
1.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Game Chat Podcast. It is Thursday, March 4th, 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. As always, we're here. Today, we're talking about the NFC North, going through a little off-season rebuilding series. Man, beautiful, beautiful day today in Boise, Idaho. It's like 60 degrees. What did my man Theo say? Game Chat Podcast. Yes, he did. We're on YouTube, live on YouTube right now. Game Chat Podcast. Check us out there. Live on Instagram, or not live on Instagram, but we're on Instagram at
GameChat.podcast.
Matthew's not here to give us your Twitter, but I think it's Game Chat Pod. And on TikTok now.
Oh.
We're on TikTok.
Honestly, that's TikTok.
Read TikTok. Our TikTok is called. Hold on.
Hopefully something close.
It is the Game Chat Podcast. The Game Chat
There
Podcast.
you go.
So we're up to 70 views on our latest and only TikTok. We got rid of Russ. Wait, what?
Oh, you get rid of Russ question? No, I don't think so.
Did we get?
I feel like I would have seen a tweet by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't scare me like that, bro.
Definitely
What's
bait. It's
what
definitely bait.
what are we doing here? Come on. I heard that there was some. Brandon was telling me earlier that there's some news about him today.
Seattle's their little rebuttal saying that we
They're just like reminding people.
He said no.
You might have to scoot this way because I was listening to last time. You're not getting in the mic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. On that you're probably fine, but no, I'm asking.
No, they did not.
No. And I hope they don't.
Oh, I pressed the button.
I don't think we'd ever find a trade good enough for him. But yeah, nice day. I mean, it feels like it's 75. It's probably only like 55. But the sun, when you're in the sun, it feels pretty warm.
It is warm today.
And playing some spike ball after this, so
56 is what it says right now.
56. Let's
It's
go.
only supposed to get a couple degree higher.
But yeah, we're gonna get this show done and get out of here and go play some spike ball. So yeah, I don't know. Do we have anything else? Spring training's happening. Almost March Madness. Yeah, there's not been a ton of big news since we did the pod. So
10 days out from Selection Sunday.
let's go, baby. Come on, bracket time.
10 days out from Wiffle Ball League for
That's
live
right.
listeners. We
That's right, bro.
have joined a Wiffle Ball League intramural. So
They added an extra time too, so now it's 8, 9, and 10. I wonder if we're playing every single day at that time.
it's
Ever.
it's one game. You only get one.
You
game.
only get one?
Yes. That's what it said on the thing. So
I want more than one game.
How many innings did they play?
I haven't seen any
There's no
rules.
rules.
I haven't seen any
We're gonna
rules.
show up and they're gonna be like, "Team bitch." We're like, "Oh, this is awkward."
Well, yeah, I was like, is it like underhand? Are we lobbing it? Are we throwing it as hard as we possibly
Am I throwing
can?
junk out here?
Because like, I need to ice my arm a little bit. Because I mean, no offense to Matthew, if you're listening, Matthew, but you're a little wild when you try to throw hard.
Yeah,
So
so-
I don't know. I mean, I might have to be the workhorse on the mound.
Effectively wild.
Effectively wild. That is true. That is true. Do we want to just jump into the rebuilding?
Yeah.
We'll just jump in.
And,
NFC North. We've done the AFC, NFC South, and the AFC North, so we're almost halfway there. But the NFC North, I don't know if we'll get to the Packers today. I didn't write a ton down about the Packers because I figured we'd start at the Lions. But the Lions, Vikings, and Bears might be like the three of the most difficult teams to rebuild this offseason. They're all in very interesting spots. So let's start with the Detroit Lions. They are an easy candidate for worst record in the league.
They're gonna be my pick.
They're gonna be my pick.
100%.
They're actually gonna be my pick. So
We're gonna have the same pick then.
no, we can't have the same pick.
Okay, rock,
I
paper,
called
scissors.
it.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, that's -3 million. Actually, 2 million. Wait, did it just update? I looked at this morning and it was -3 million.
when I looked an hour or two ago, it said 2.3.
So it is 2.3. I mean, that's what it is.
So they're
That's-
still under the cap limit somehow. Even
Oh, they
Cut Trufant.
cut Trufant.
Trufant, right?
Now updated. Okay, so that look at player guys to cut. Desmond Trufant was second on that list. So yeah, they are $2 million over the cap. They just cut Desmond Trufant. Obviously, the big news for the Lions was not only did they hire Dan Campbell, who was not on anyone's radar to be a head coach. I'm excited actually about him. Like I don't have super high expectations, but he's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's kind of the same little situation as Joe Judge. I mean, when he came in, he's got this little tenacity about him that everybody's like, "Oh, all excited about." And I'm excited about it too, but I think that if you're a Lions fan, you got to be realistic about your guys' future. It's going to take at least 2 or 3 years to get this thing rebuilt and get the pieces they need and make the moves they need to really do because they got a lot of holes. And
Yeah.
they got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So the interesting thing, I was looking at Goff. Obviously, this year it's 27.8 is his cap hit. His dead cap's 43. Next year though, his dead cap is 15 million, and his salary is roughly the same. I think his salary is pretty much the same the whole way because the Rams take on a lot of his salary. So next year is 25 mil, and then his dead cap's only 15. Then there's an out in 2023.
Mhm.
So he is owed there's no dead cap for 2023 and 2024. His cap's 25 and 26 million. So that's why this deal is like low key kind of friendly for the Lions
Mhm.
because they stay competent with these quarterbacks or with Goff as their quarterback. Like I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl, so he's not like trash. But then they also they can cut him for free in 2 years, and they'd eat 10. They'd clear 10 million if they cut him next year. So it's honestly not the worst situation in the world.
Yeah, it's like the perfect rebuild timeline. I mean, you give them 2 years, and then you get rid of Goff and that contract, and then move on and get a new quarterback in there, and then they're going to be looking towards the future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't realize that about the contract. That I didn't know that he had an out in 2023. But it's perfect.
People knew that like it just wasn't like they weren't going to get rid of him now, so he's pretty much a fill-in spot. You know, he's a plug-in for while they try to do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm. Trey Flowers was their big signing a couple of years ago. It's just a typical Patriot. It's a Patriot defender who really benefited from Bill Belichick and got a big bag, and now everyone's looking at that contract like, Lions, what were you doing?
It's like the Patricia and him chemistry. That's what really got him that contract. And ended up screwing him over.
Yeah. So cut candidates. They already cut Desmond Trufant, as we talked about. That cleared up, I think, about $5 million. I think they should cut Chase Daniel. You don't need to be paying your backup quarterback $5 million.
Why is he still on team?
Yeah, it makes no sense. How much do you think his career earnings is?
Probably 30.
30.
Is TJ Hawkinson still on the?
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
But I think you cut Jesse James because T.J. Hawkinson's probably one of your only bright spots.
He was a top 5 tight end this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the bright spot of this team right now.
Yeah. Who else? I had Justin Coleman. So Justin Coleman was a Seahawk. He was our nickel corner, and I think he went in free agency last year, and they gave him a bag to be like their like nickel / like number 2 corner, and I don't know. I think you probably need to get out of that while you can. Don't you think?
Yeah.
He's not owed a ton, but like.
Would they eat 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 in dead cap, but you save $5 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you're not in a position to. I don't know. I don't really know what their offseason plan is. So they signed Tyrell Williams. I'm fine with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
They needed someone because they're gonna let Kenny go.
and Marvin. I
And
think
Marvin,
those guys are both going to get it
Yeah,
back.
so
tomorrow.
they definitely needed at least one outside threat for Jared Goff, but
Do we know how much they're giving or how much Tyrell Williams is going to make?
6, I think 6 or 7.
He's not on there.
One-year
It's
deal.
weird. He's not on there.
He's on the free agents list, but it doesn't show any money.
Right. Okay.
But it's like 1 year,
Yeah.
6 or 7 million.
It's
He didn't
only
play
1 year.
at all last year,
Yeah.
so it's a prove it deal pretty much.
Yeah, and they have. I mean, the market values for Galladay is 17.
Yeah.
And Marvin Jones is 10. I don't think he gets 10. I think he takes a 1 year smaller deal. He's gonna be one of those guys that's like squeezed out because of the market this year.
Yeah, but people don't remember who Tyrell Williams was. He was the backup to Keenan Allen. That's the number 2 to Keenan Allen and for the Chargers for a while. And then the Raiders signed him to be their number 1, and then he just never ended up panning out. Didn't even play at all last year.
He didn't play
injured.
just injury.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he was regarded as an up-and-coming one wide receiver, but yeah, he hasn't done stuff lately, so it's a proven deal. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of like a Cam Newton deal.
So I had Nick Williams. I don't even know who this guy is. He's a DT.
Yeah.
They only his dead cap's 1 million, and he's making 5.7. I think they cut him.
Yeah.
There's gonna be. Do you see that tweet yesterday, 2 days ago? Maybe it was this guy. I don't even remember who it was, but he said he spoke to a GM, and the GM was like, "There's gonna be a purge of people being cut in these next few weeks." He's like, "It's gonna be the most cuts we've ever seen because all these teams right now are like getting screwed by the cap." I mean, this is a perfect year that we're doing this little rebuilding series because the cap has never been this interesting before.
Yeah.
No one's ever paid this much attention to the cap before. But because the cap's not going up and like players are starting to like demand this type of money, their teams are going to get screwed by the cap. So they're cutting people left and right. And the guy was like, we're going to see just cuts left and right for the next couple weeks. I also didn't know the franchise tag deadline is in 5 days.
Mhm.
So, and we have not heard anything
we
like
haven't
that.
seen anything.
Have we seen any tag?
I don't think there's any.
I don't think there's any. It's because the prices are high. I don't know if you've seen the list, but they're high for tags.
Should we look that up right
Yeah,
now?
look at that. I was looking at the other day. They're pretty high, like per position, and it's kind of ridiculous. But teams are forced to do it. I mean, especially guys like that who can't get a deal done.
While you're looking that up, can you guys answer me who Taylor Decker is? He's a left tackle. Why is he making almost $5 million, but his dead cap is 20?
That means that he's signed to a big deal.
Okay.
So like when their debt, your dead cap is like how much you're guaranteed.
Yeah.
So that's why like Goff's dead number is huge.
Yeah.
Same with like Okuda, like those first round picks, all especially like the high first round picks, kind of what we talked about in the last pod. Those are high. So okay, so the franchise tag QB is 25, but Dax would be a lot higher.
Yes, it's way more than that. To answer your question, Taylor Decker makes $15 million next year, so that's why I looked at. Yeah. He's number 3 on their cap hit.
Is he young-ish?
He probably is. He's on the younger. He's probably in the last year of his rookie deal, and then he gets that big contract with him.
Listen to this.
He's 27.
Where is it? Dak. So this year he played he was making like 31 and a half.
Yeah.
If they place it on them again, it's 38.
38, yeah.
And if he does it for the third time, 55.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that needs to dip.
I need to check my salt that's in my oven.
Chemistry experiment.
Chemistry, student first.
Student first, mom.
That's crazy. First, Mom. 55
I
million
know.
tagging in.
Well, they're not. But did you? I saw like I think on Get Up they were like, they're not. He's not close to a long term.
No, it's just I think he's locking at some point. I think it's a done deal at this point.
Do you think they probably tag him again?
This year, yes. I think they take their 38 million and give it to him this year, but
That's still so much.
it's a lot. I mean, that's Mahomes, lots of money right there.
Right. Yeah. Oh boy, Reed's calling in. Let's take it. We need a third host. Eli left us. What's up, Reed?
How we doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
Good. I want to know your guys' thoughts on Goff, and do you think the Lions should try to go out and get a new quarterback, or just hold on for him for a couple years until they find their guy, or do you think he is their guy?
I don't think he's their guy. That's kind of the question, right? Is like, when do they go get a quarterback? And who, right? Because I don't think Goff's gonna. I don't think
they have
7. I was just about to talk about that. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, do you think they trade back?
I think it'd be smart to this year because I think the harsh reality is that they're probably gonna have a top 3 pick next year, and so.
But I don't think this quarterback class next year. At least what I've heard
I don't think
is
so either,
bad. I think it's
but-
bad. That's what people are saying is like there's gonna be some teams that might be a year away that take like the Vikings who's next up. Some people think they might take a quarterback because if they want a quarterback to sit behind Cousins, no one really believes in any quarterbacks next year. But I don't know. I would trade. I had
There's
trade down.
always guys that
What?
there's always guys that break out. There's
Yeah.
always guys that will break out next year in college. Like and Rattler will be a first rounder. They have some talent. I feel like guys they haven't. Like Mac Jones isn't on anyone.
No, I think
He's a
they.
first rounder this year.
I think they should probably trade down too. The only guy I think if they like a receiver at 7, I would not be opposed to them taking, or like I wouldn't be surprised if they take one.
Yeah.
You think they should trade down?
I think they should trade down. I mean, if to Jack's point, if they look at the upcoming their draft spots or the draft classes and say, man, we don't really want to bet on the quarterback soon, then maybe they trade down and like take Kellen Mond in the 20s.
Right.
I don't know, like something like that. Like, yeah, I don't think that they're going to stick at that spot this year and take a quarterback and then let him sit under a guy that's making 20-something mil a year. It's just not going to happen. And I think Goff's a fill-in spot. I mean, you look at what Goff's coming from. So I think Goff knows that he is just there to get them past the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Their defense was really bad last year, though. So, I've seen some mock drafts having to take, like, Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I saw that one
But
too.
they really missed, like, Akuda apparently was, I really didn't watch the Lions last year, but apparently he had just a horrendous year. And he was, like, supposed to be way better than he was. And people are, like, bashing on him. So, I don't know.
Corner's such a weird position. Like, I don't know how to judge their. Yeah, I don't know. And they just cut Trufant, so he's going to be even more of a like number one corner next year.
You didn't have much help. I mean, you look at the corner spot, and you look at like things that they need to be able to depend on, which is like over the top help and stuff like that, so he can play aggressive up in the wide receiver space. I just don't think he had that last year. I think that he probably felt like he's on an island, so I think it's hard.
He's probably not going to have it anymore, though.
No, he won't. And that's the sad part. So he's going to be on an island for a while because they need to rebuild. So I think it's hard to judge their young players right now because there just isn't a lot around them.
Yeah, I do like the Dan Campbell hiring until like heard his press conferences and stuff. And he's a cool guy. So I think he could. If he pans out, like it was definitely a weird hire, but I think that they haven't had a good coach in Detroit forever. So I hope for them that he pans out for them and builds a decent team.
Yeah, I hope they give him time. Because no one's going to win with this team for the next 2 years.
That's the question. Yeah, is how fast does the fan base turn on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. DeAndre Swift, he's a bright spot for them. He was good out of the backfield, like catching and running. So I think that'll be interesting what kind of year he has this year.
It's kind of funny because like you saying that because I do think that he's a good player, but I think the Lions season was kind of like wrote off when he dropped that game-winning catch. Like it was just like that's like a little bit of foreshadowing for how that year was going to go, and it's just funny that you bring him up because he is their bright spot, but he also had one of their lowest spots last year, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, that versus the Bears. Was that like week 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that like week 2? It was week 1.
It was week 1, I'm pretty sure.
I totally forgot about that.
All right. Thanks for the call. Keep up the work on the TikTok.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Reed. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll find something from you. And you guys have yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it tonight. I'm gonna post it tonight on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I'll try to. I listened to it. I'll try to find a clip.
Yeah, we'll keep giving you stuff too. I think I want to try to for like a little while do like post on TikTok like every day or every other day.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good platform just to get some other following. Like I know, I follow some like small sports podcasts on there too, and they've gotten a lot of followings from TikTok.
No, exactly.
Cool.
We just need to if we put the more often we post, the more likely like one of those videos will catch on.
Yeah.
So that's all we really need. We just need to keep doing it. So I appreciate it, Reed.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. What do you guys think they do at this number? What do you think they should do at 7?
Which one went with the Lions, right?
Lions. Yeah.
Trade it.
Trade back.
Hope for the Niners.
No, I think that there's definitely going to be some teams that are going to call if the quarterbacks, depending on like what happens there. I still think though if they fall in love with like Waddle or Smith, like I would not have. I think Chase will be gone. That's personal. But if they fall in love with either of those 3 guys, like I wouldn't have a problem with them taking a wide receiver because they're going to be so bad at wide receiver.
Yeah, it's what do they value the most? It's true because if they want to get the most for their pick, it's probably you're right, it's probably a wide receiver spot. But when they look at their roster and see how many spots they need, it's just I think it's how much they can get for that pick compared to what value they're getting in drops. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Yeah, you're totally right. There's so many needs, but wide receiver is probably the biggest glaring one right now.
Like what would the 7th pick be worth? Like
that's the thing. You trade down to like I've seen some where like they trade with the football team if like the football team goes up and gets a quarterback. If you trade back, you're probably looking at like a second, maybe or a third,
That's fair.
and you get 19 or whatever. So
I would 100% do that.
100%.
I mean, they're in such a position where they need so much help.
For sure.
And I mean, they're, like you said, they're 2 years, 3 years from being a decent team.
Yeah.
With all the things they got going wrong. So.
All right, we got another call. I'm not sure who this is, but you're live.
What's up, guys?
Is it Cole?
Hey, guys, it's cool.
Yeah.
So, listened to your pod yesterday,
Oh boy.
Thank you.
and this is the past couple days. I'm a believer in Mac Jones now. I think Mac Jones is going to be a good NFL quarterback, and I think he's going to be a top 10 pick.
Okay.
Okay.
Then who would you like him to go to if you had to pick a team?
I think the Panthers or the Falcons are going to take him. I think whichever one doesn't take Fields, the other one takes him.
So who do you think he's going to go above? One of the top 4? Do you think he goes above Lance?
I think for sure he'll go above Lance. I think he's better than Trey Lance.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I think he's better, but I think the consensus is that he is.
I think he's going to be better than Wilson, Lawrence, or Fields too. I think he's going to be a top 3 quarterback out of this class.
Really?
Interesting.
Why? What changed your mind on this guy?
Everyone's zigging up in the zag. Everyone thinks he's got everyone thinks he's a system quarterback. Everyone's like,
Everyone's
and
gonna
I
say that.
know that I haven't like every single. There's no like everyone's so high on him. I think.
Wait. You just said no one likes him.
I've heard everyone likes him.
Then you're not zagging.
You're not
You're
zagging.
going.
We're the zag. You're the
Yeah.
zag.
No, because you guys are everyone else. I don't think he's going to be good.
Cool. You're making no sense with the zigging and the zagging. I'm fine with you liking Mac Jones, but I want to know why. Have you watched any tape on him? Have you?
Is it because what?
No, I got that feeling.
Is it because of Devonta Smith and Waddle coming
Yeah.
out and talking about it? Do you think that swayed you?
No, I just think he's the gut feeling. I think he's a good quarterback.
Okay. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, Cole, but I think he needs to go to the right place. I think that his career is going to depend on where he gets drafted because he's either going to be in a good spot where he's a good quarterback for the offense or he's just going to sit back there and rock.
I think Atlanta would be a great fit for him.
I
have no
don't.
problem with that.
Here's my main thing.
I
Is
think
if he
Atlanta's
goes to
perfect.
I think it would be pretty good, especially with Calvin Ridley. But the problem is if you cannot protect for him, he cannot throw on the run. I've watched a little bit of tape. He cannot throw on the run to save his life. And if you cannot block for him, he's going to be like every other quarterback you've had before. Or if you're a team that's just recycling quarterbacks year after year, I don't know. I mean, he has the talent if you give him the wide receivers and the time to throw, which you can say about a lot of quarterbacks.
I think if Arthur Smith comes in and tries to replicate what the Titans did with Mac Jones, I think it's perfect. I think that Mac Jones can be their Ryan Tannehill. I think that's the perfect spot for him. That's my point. I don't think that he can go to a team that needs a straight guy with a gun back there throwing it 40, 50 times a game because that's just not what he is. He needs to go to the right position where they're going to run the ball and he can do his play action and not have to throw on the run, escape the pocket. Yeah, that's not his game. We know that.
I think that he'll be. I think I like it more in Carolina actually.
Why?
I think the McCaffrey helps. I think the receivers there are sneaky good. I think DJ Moore is a good wide receiver, and I think Curtis Samuel's a good wide receiver. I think Rule's a good offensive coordinator, and I just think that everyone's thinking Atlanta's going to go with the quarterback, but I think if they don't pick Fields, I think they have so many other holes that quarterback isn't like a gaping hole.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Yeah, I mean, if Carolina doesn't want to trade up, I think he'll be there at 8 for sure.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I think I like him right now. I don't know. I might change by April.
Very true.
No, he's by far been the biggest winner from like November to now. I mean, I haven't seen anyone skyrocket this high.
Yeah, hype alone. Yeah.
So,
Joe Burrow.
well,
Junior to
Burrow
senior
was
year.
but just
like,
from in the past.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
him has been like in the Senior Bowl. People were like, this guy was in crazy. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point, Cole. We'll see.
All right. See you guys.
Eat an apple or something. This guy. All right, yeah. So I just had like basically defense and wide receiver for this team is their needs. Like obviously quarterback, but I don't think they can really do it. They have no real flexibility with it. So anything else on the Lions?
I mean,
Yeah, they need
I did not realize they were paying Trey Flowers as much money as they were.
Yeah, we talked about that. It was like that was the Patricia connection that everyone was like, oh, like stud out of New England, and then it's like,
I had no idea Danny Shelton was on the Lions either. I forgot about that.
They need to cut him.
Yeah.
Save him for him.
Okay, Minnesota Vikings are the next team on our list. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about Kirk Cousins here for a second. Kirk Cousins this year's what's his cap hit? 31 million. Next year, I was telling you this earlier. Next year, his cap hit is $45 million. That is the largest cap hit in NFL history, and will be until 2027 when Patrick Mahomes is making his cap is $59 million. But right now, he has the largest dead cap hit, or will have the largest dead cap hit in NFL history or cap hit just in general of right now 31, in the future 35.
for what?
So they cut Kyle Rudolph. Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Cut Kyle Rudolph yesterday. Probably a good decision. They are still, with Kyle Rudolph out, still negative $2 million under the cap, or over the cap, excuse me. Who did you guys have any cut candidates for them? I had one that I think Riley Reef is the left tackle or right tackle for them. I don't know. I've not heard anything about him. He's making 17.5.
He's the right tackle.
This one, Sparrex is left, but I mean tackles kind of
they switch.
Yeah.
He's making $17.5 million.
His debt is only 3.7.
You say
so you could
$14 million. I think that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
So Riley Reef cut. So then I was reading when I like look up for these, like I always look up like blank team off-season plans, and I read a bunch of articles about them. And this one had seemed like 10-page like article on like a super detailed plan about what the Vikings need to do this offseason. Way too much for us to talk about, but one of them that he kind of went over was Anthony Barr or Eric Wilson, and basically like they need to choose one. I think Eric Wilson is like a restricted free agent or something, and they said his number is going to be around like $9 to $10 million. Anthony Barr is like 15 or something. So they're basically like you need to choose which one of those two you are going to keep.
We're talking about Eric Kendrick.
No, Eric Wilson.
Who is that?
I don't know. He's like another
he's
linebacker.
Outside linebacker.
Yeah, he's like he and Barr like are both outside linebackers,
And
and they're virtually like the same player, is what I've understood.
Yeah. I don't know how old Barr is, but I looked up. I think Eric Wilson's like 26 or 28, maybe. Like he's not super old.
Yeah, Barr's 28 and Wilson's 26.
Okay. So they're all just saying like we can't have both of these guys because they're both they're going to make too much money, and they're not super productive.
Yeah.
So I don't know enough about either of them to be like, yeah, I'm Team Anthony Barr. Like that's the guy we need to keep. So I just feel like we should just say they need to cut one and keep the other.
Yeah, because right now Anthony Barr's still in contract and Eric Wilson's a free agent. I don't know if that's restricted or unrestricted or whatever, but like I think if they're pretty much the same player, I think it makes more financial sense just to not sign Eric Wilson and to keep Anthony Barr.
Right.
Just because it's dead cap, you only save about
$8 million.
Yeah.
$6 million.
Well, like 7. Yeah, like about 7, and then if it's about 10 to sign Wilson back, if you cut Barr and sign Wilson, your net loss is like $3 million roughly, only for probably 2 years younger.
Yeah.
How is this team surviving?
Yeah, they are a mess, an absolute mess. I did not realize it either how much of a mess they are.
Just teams that we've been looking at, and they have 7-8 guys above 10 million with cap hits, and then Kirk Cousins above 31 is just a killer. But yeah, you have 3 guys that are above 15. Like that's crazy.
They missed their window. Is what it comes down to. They had a window where their defense was really good, and Cook was on that rookie deal, and they had Diggs and Thielen. Especially looking at what Diggs did last year, like how in the world did this team miss this window?
That's a great question.
They got a miracle out of it, but
For real.
Kirk Cousins,
Right.
so.
No, that's the problem is that they bought in for Kirk Cousins and he's just not it.
No, they put all that money in over Keenum, thinking that he was going to elevate them, and he didn't elevate them.
No, not at all.
So even next year, I just fast forward a little bit, 2022 offseason, they lose the Reeve contract, so he goes away. But then here comes Dalvin with $12 million cap hit, and then Kirk comes to 45.
Oh my
So it
gosh.
doesn't get any better for them.
And you know what? They are going there. A lot of people say to re-sign, extend Harrison Smith this offseason because he's a free agent next offseason.
Yeah.
So and they need to let Anthony Harris walk this because he's going to ask for 14, 15 million, and they don't have the cap to get it. Sorry, what are you saying?
Harrison Smith is like 30 or like 31, right?
They won't sign him to a super long deal, but they need to keep him. He's
Yeah.
the leader of that defense.
They let him go, right? Is this the guy that let go last offseason and then got him
Harrison?
back? Or was it the other one? It
Was
was a
it-
white safety. I can't remember if it was Harrison or it was another guy.
I have no clue.
But they let him go and they got him back through like trade or something from the Cowboys. But yeah.
I mean, and then they're gonna have to pay Jeff. I mean, you got a while before you have to pay Jefferson, but like eventually,
I feel like by that time comes, they should let Thielen go.
I think they might let Thielen go in the next couple of years. I'm looking at he's making 13 this year with a $5 million dead cap hit. That saves you $8 million, but I think he's still valuable enough. Next year, he goes up to like almost like 14.5, but his dead cap's $3 million. And then his last year, then he goes to 15 with a $1 million cap hit, and then 14 with no cap. So I feel like they probably cut him
They could, yeah.
soon. Like they're just gonna realize they need to start rebuilding, and I don't think it's this year. I think we still see Thielen here, but once they need to pay Jefferson, they're definitely gonna choose Jefferson over Thielen when that comes to it. So
And if they're going to stick to the run game, they're paying Cook a lot. And so I feel like it doesn't make sense to pay Cook that much and to also start paying Thielen that much, especially if Thielen's not super young. And then, yeah, they have Jefferson, who's right now not making a ton because he's on his rookie deal.
yeah. A lot of people wanted them to go get either in the draft or free agency. It seemed like the consensus is an edge rusher for this team for sure. A guard. Apparently their guards are really bad and they like to run the football with Cook. So like that just doesn't make any sense. And there's a lot of good guards in free agency. Not the top ones are like Shreve from, I don't know if that's how you say his name, from the football team.
Mhm.
And then the Patriots, Joe Thuney.
Yeah.
But there's a couple other guys that I saw Vikings beat writers thrown out that would be a lot cheaper than those guys, but still, because that's what you bought into Cook. Like you're gonna have to endure these next few years with Cousins in his contract, but eventually you're gonna be able to move on from that. But now you have to worry about Cook. Like you bought in, you paid this man. You're gonna have to start investing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the problem. Interior offensive line is a need for almost every single team in the NFL.
That's very true.
It's just a dying position. It really is. I hate to say it, but it is probably the slimmest position right now in terms of talent.
Yeah, they're paying 3 offensive tackles before their first guard.
Exactly.
Which
Dang.
one of them is Ezra Cleveland.
And he's
That's
making
right.
No
what?
Marcos.
And
Well,
Ezra's
he's making $1
making
million.
Ezra's making $1 million. Drew Samia is their first guard, and he's making $1 million. But so like Ezra's making 1.2, and he's just making $1 million.
He played guard for them this year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and he's
He played
not a
He
guard.
played right guard, yeah.
At least he never played guard for us. But yeah, and then I saw third wide receiver for this team as well because you have a really good core of playmakers.
Right.
But after those 3, there's like no one on this. Now they don't even have a tight end. Like who's their tight end?
No, that's true.
It's
Irv
Irv.
Smith.
Herb. Okay.
Probably, yeah.
They
I
can
mean-
probably ride with that. But yeah, I think what's his name? Oliver C.B. Johnson is their third wide receiver right now. So yeah.
That's their wait. What?
Yeah, remember they had Laquan Treadwell before that, and then
Yeah.
they
Oh, I do
he
remember
left,
that.
and then now they have that old C.D.
Oh,
Johnson.
yeah.
He filled in for Thielen when Thielen was hurt. If you remember that.
No, they need. I think that's probably like a 3rd or 4th round pick for them. Is
Yeah.
Go get
Yeah.
one of those. And there's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft. It's
It's a
really
deep
deep.
class, yeah.
You try to swing for the fences on one of those. I'm looking. They have the 14th pick.
It's not bad.
What do they do with them?
I think they take a guard.
Guard.
There's that.
Yeah.
I don't even. His name. He's from USC. His name's like he's like a hyphenated last name. I don't know how to say it. But he's like one of the top offensive guard prospects, and that's a popular one that I saw. Now, or just anything on defense if they like they need help on a lot. And I did not realize, Brandon, kind of what you're saying. I did not realize how much of a mess this team was.
That's bad.
Like, because they're a really good fantasy team now, and I think that's so like the casual football fans like, what do you mean the Vikings are bad? Like, they have Justin Jefferson, they have Dalvin Cook, like
Yeah, but then they have Kirk Cousins, who's and making 31 million.
45 next year.
Right.
That's insane.
Elijah Vera Tucker. So
Oh, I should know his name. Yeah, that's the
from
guy.
USC. Right?
yeah, I think the overlining subject here though is they're stuck with Kirk. I mean, there's just not much you can do, and
He's only got 2 years left on his deal, though. Right?
exactly. But no one's gonna be,
Yeah,
no one's dumb enough to
right.
trade for him.
Yeah.
They can't cut him, so they're stuck with him next 2 years. Niners, listen to me, please. So yeah,
So okay, interesting. I just was looking at Twitter. Will Compton goes, boarding Southwest Airlines A1. I'm the seat picking champion.
the golden spot.
There is some people that think maybe they should take a quarterback. And this is another interesting one. It's like you're paying your quarterback so much money, it's really going to be tough to maybe if they don't have a second rounder, maybe you take a flyer in a third.
Totally fine with that. But if
Yeah.
people think that it's reasonable to go up and get one of the top guys and try to trade a bunch of stock for him, like you're gonna let
Yeah.
a guy with a cap hit of 31 and then 45 minutes
For sure.
sit on the bench. You can't.
The only problem is
it's not feasible.
you want to, once he leaves, you don't want to have this transition period
No, you
where
want him to
now
be
you're
on the
wasting
for sure.
Cook again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, you basically, if you're going to do that, you're going to take the next 2 years, you're going to throw it down the drain. You're going to say, I want you guys to lose, but I want the defense to do well.
Right.
And then you're basically going to
Cook needs to stay healthy.
Yeah, you're going to just rake in first-round draft picks, top first-round draft picks the next 2 years, and then be like, all right, Kirk, peace, and hope that the guys that you drafted are all of a sudden really good. I don't think you need to do it this year. I think you need to address the defense and the O-line.
I think you're right. But you need to prioritize. You need to prioritize Cook and Jefferson. Like those two, you need to make sure they do not get hurt. You need to. That's why I think you need to invest in a third receiver to keep allowing Jefferson to grow. You need to invest in the offensive line to keep Cook. I mean, like you're banking that once you need to pick a quarterback in these. And maybe next year and the year after that's going to come in. Now your window drastically resets in 2023.
Right.
Like you have a whole that window opens up. It is wide open after you get rid of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
So it's like the near future for Vikings fans is not good, but it's not the worst it could be after that.
Could be a lot worse.
Who knows how many years Zimmer has left?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if he still gets to run the ball like he's going to for these next few years, he's going to want to keep it, Okay. Chicago Bears. This is another interesting one. Jimmy Graham needs to go.
Yeah.
It's time for him. They have like 9 tight ends on this roster, and he's making $10 million. Like,
Who's the next team that wants to take a flyer?
I know, seriously, it's going to be someone.
Vikings.
Probably.
For real in the north.
I mean, yeah, he's got to go. He's like saves you $7 million in cap. They're $3 million over. Kyle Fuller is making $20 million. I did not know that.
Robert Quinn's making 14.
I know.
That's so
They're-
bad. Look at his dead cap at 24 million. They're stuck.
Yep. You can't do anything there. Sorry, were you saying something?
I was just gonna say, I think it's so crazy looking at the Bears and looking at the other teams like cap hits. The Bears they put a lot of money in their defense, and it's, I mean, they
Top six.
yeah, they like time and again usually have a really, really good defense, but that's a lot of money. Like Khalil Mack, I think is worth it, but still 26.
27 is a lot, man.
That is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for a non-quarterback.
Bobby Massey is a big cut candidate that I've seen for them. Apparently their tackles were like horrible, and Massey's making $9 million. So I think he's probably gone. I think Graham's gone.
I think Leno was up there too.
Leno.
As a cut as well.
I think you're 100% right about it. I think, but so the bright spot for the Bears, your running game shined at the end of last season. And that was a big part of they have good interior alignment, which Brandon was just saying like is a problem. I think you need to probably cut the tackles and restart at tackle, but your interior is good, and you were able to run the ball successfully at the end of last season. So that's a really, really good sign for the Bears.
Elephant in the room.
So
Quarterback. I mean,
okay, but can we? I want two things before because I think we could probably spend a ton of time on quarterback. So Akeem Hicks is I think the toughest decision they're going to have this offseason because he is the guy that they built this defense around. Like Khalil Mack, obviously, but Akeem Hicks has been like this. Like he came out as a star during this like whole rebuilding of this defense. That's a Super Bowl caliber defense, right? But it's so like this is the tough. Like he's making $12 million with a 1.5 cap, like dead cap. So you save a lot of money if you cut him. But he's also one of your best defensive. Like that's such a tough decision they're gonna have to make.
Well, that was the same thing with the Vikings. Like they can't cut Harrison Smith because he's a leader for that team, but he's making 10 and has no debt.
I know.
So you could save a lot of that money, but it might be worth it to hold on to it. Same thing with Hakeem.
I totally. Because some team would. I mean, if Akeem Hicks is cut, there's gonna be a lot of teams that want Akeem Hicks.
just last year.
NFC West.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's his last year.
It's his last year.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, I mean, he is a stud. He is a stud. He's one of. I think he's one of the most underrated players in football. Like when he went out for the Bears this season, it was just a drastic change on the defense. So that's going to be a big decision. I'm really interested to see what they do. I have a feeling they probably just keep him and deal with the cap, but it sucks because you wouldn't want to deal with that if you didn't have to. And we're all okay. Every Bear article that I read on their cap was that they should sign back Allen Robinson.
There are 3
That
over the
shocked
cap.
me. Yeah, I was like,
And
what the heck?
His estimated market value is like $20 million.
So
There's no way they signed him.
why would he want to go back?
Why would he want
He's
to-
finally a free agent. He's the number 1, number 2 wide receiver in this class. Why would he want to come back? I don't know. It was just funny. Every single I read 4 or 5 articles on it, and it was like number 2, extend Allen Robinson. I was like,
You win.
yeah. So okay, let's talk about the quarterback.
They just lead right into it because
Yeah.
they could definitely cut some people, and then they still have the money to sign Al Robinson because they're not paying a quarterback, and that's that's the one bright spot that they do have, but you need to pay for it.
Yeah,
that's just the sad part
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
excellent defense, a top tier receiver if you sign him back again, but no quarterback.
Do you guys think they go in with Nick Foles? I mean,
Please do not.
I don't think you can
I
sell your
hope they
fan
don't.
base that.
I hope they don't, but he's the only quarterback. He's the
Trubisky
quarterback they have under contract.
Trubisky is so much better than Foles.
I think
It's
so as well.
unbelievable
I
how
think so
much
as well.
he's better. At least in this system. Oh my gosh, when Trubisky just the limited mobility that he has is so much better than Foles.
I think the
It's
ceiling,
unbelievable.
is way higher, and
And their floors and they're like relatively the same. So
do they have a market value for Trubisky?
it's 8.
8.4.
Oof, man.
And
What do they do? That's the question.
Okay,
I
I-
sit here for
This might
a
be
year and talk
this might be
about
kind of crazy, but I think a team gives him more than 8. I really do. We've seen. I mean, Chase Daniel's making 5,
Right.
and he's made 7 before. I mean, maybe this year, maybe he takes a 1-year deal that's smaller, but like,
Which team?
he might turn into
it.
like
I think it's gotta be the Bears. That's
yeah, it's not the Bears. I don't know who it would be, but he might be like a Dwayne Haskins. Like some team who already has a quarterback might, they signed Dwayne Haskins for I think $1 million.
landing
But
spots.
what team would pay him and start this?
Hold on. Let's. Okay. Denver Broncos.
I like that.
I think Drew Luck's staying, but I know you guys have different mindsets about that.
You think Drew Lock's staying?
Yeah.
They could probably afford to pay both.
They could. They probably
What's
could.
what's
Fair
the
enough. Fair enough.
Broncos cap? You're New England Patriots.
God, Bill, I don't think Bill can take that one.
Probably not.
I think Bill
he
would fall over. He'd be done. after
Yeah,
that.
he might turn it over a little too much for Bill. Pittsburgh Steelers
Football team.
football team.
I don't know.
What? Okay,
Panthers.
so right now, the Broncos have $47 million in cap,
Yeah.
but there's like a bunch of like red. So that might not be. It might be less after they like re-sign some players. Maybe I don't know why all these numbers are red.
Well, Vaughn's got to be their highest contract.
Yeah.
He's gone. So
Okay, yeah, his cap is 22.
Phil Lindsay's also probably gone too.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
they should have a lot of money.
They have a
They're
lot
not
of
paying
cap.
nobody.
Yeah,
So
they have a lot of cap.
Yeah.
But if you have that much cap, why would you go after Mitchell
Bro.
Trubisky?
I think
throw him 10.
I think
That's true.
the Broncos would be That's if he's not going back to the Bears, I like the Broncos.
I do too. I don't know why, but I have this inclination that he's Bay State.
Here is a quote from today. Vic Fangio, the coach of the Broncos, said, "Until Drew proves to be the next great quarterback, like the ones the Denver franchise is used to having in the past, we're going to always try to bring in competition." So
that's why I think
yeah.
I think it'd be perfect, like because you're not bringing in Mitch just to be like he's not the guy, obviously.
Yeah.
You're picking someone that isn't too expensive, that probably has played a few years in the league, and if they win the job, they win the job.
Yeah, for sure.
I do like that.
Yeah, but
he's definitely staying.
I think Locke stays there for sure in Denver.
Yeah.
But I think they bring someone in. I think you have to
I
bring
hope
someone
they
in. Okay, off Trubisky, the wide receiver position for this team is going to be a glaring need. Because I think there's no chance they sign Allen Robinson. So, yeah, big need there. We touched on tackle. Who's a wide receiver that they could realistically sign?
Who wants to go there?
Yeah,
I mean, they have to throw money at someone for them to even want to. I mean, they're like, okay, we want to sign you, but we don't have a quarterback yet, so you're kind of just going to – and it's probably going to be a 1 or 2 year deal. So
they don't have – well, actually, they're 3 over the cap hit.
So I think the smartest thing for them might just be to roll with Anthony Miller and Darnell Mooney and wait it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Who's going to want to go there?
Or draft a receiver in like the second or third round.
Yeah,
hope
draft someone young.
There's a lot of receivers. I feel like that would be a better option for them to pay someone because it doesn't make sense to pay. I mean, they can't really pay anyone right now. It doesn't make sense to pay anyone if you're not a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, there's some wide receivers that are just older wide receivers that are out there. Like Golden Tate just got cut. T.Y. Hilton's probably not going to get that much money after the last year or two. Then there's some random names out there.
They're going to totally overpay for one of those guys.
Right.
Like they'll give them like
$8
$8 million.
Yeah.
It's such a terrible situation. The fact that they won't pay, they wouldn't pay Allen Robinson in the past, but yeah, they probably are overpaid for some older guy.
Yeah, and Ryan Pace would be like, well, see, we didn't spend $20 million on Allen. We spent 9 on Willie Snead.
Yeah.
So it's a win for us. Like,
that fan base is going to erupt.
So, okay, Ian Rappaport tweeted this, or he was on ESPN maybe yesterday. He gave 3 quarterbacks for the Bears. Sam Darnold in a trade.
I like it.
I think have you guys, is there any like Bear mock draft? Like who do they have him taking? That like 20? Like I don't know, like a tackle probably.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe one of those receivers, Kadarius Toney from Florida. But like, would you do 20 for Darnold? Straight up if you're the Bears.
Give up your 20th pick for Darnold.
I don't know how much.
What's Darnold's contract like? Does he have one or two?
1
2
year,
years?
and then
Okay.
you have to pay him something.
It'd be like a really
Like
Screw it, I would.
Why
I
not?
would.
What do you have to lose?
because that 20th pick is probably not going to improve your team as much as Darnold would be. That's not
I think that's the truth. Right
And
there.
it's-
I think
if
that's
it's-
just the bottom line.
He's 23 years old.
What you're going to
That-
get at the 20th
that
pick
20th
is
pick,
not.
It's not going to be any better.
Darnold's going to do way more for your team.
Yeah.
20th
Yeah.
pick. At this time.
Drafting Darnold for
And-
1 or 2 years at the 20th pick is better than drafting Kadarius Toney.
And the Jets have not gotten a first round pick.
No.
Who says no? Reed, clip this. Put it on TikTok. Who says no? Bears give up the 20th pick and the Jets give up Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold goes to the Bears. He becomes their quarterback. Who says no?
I don't.
End the clip, Reed.
But like, because now that would make it easy for because the Jets have what, the second pick?
Yes.
Draft quarterback. Because if they have Darnold,
Right. And now they get the 20th pick. They pick whoever. I like that trade a lot.
I think that's good for both teams.
Yeah, and then the Bears, like,
'Cause-
what else were you going to do? You're going to go in with Nick Foles? Seriously?
That's
Like,
yeah.
what the
Well,
option
and
is right
if
now.
I'm the Jets, I feel like right now they're like they're probably not going to draft someone right now. They're not going to draft someone and have Darnold, maybe, but they're probably going to sit there and be like, all right, what kind of trade offs are people going to give us? But getting the
20th is the best they're going to get.
getting the 20th just for Darnold, yeah,
I think
because
probably the best value there.
Darnold hasn't proven anything, and I feel like they're trying to like Darnold's young and he's not that bad. Let's get as much as we can from him. They're not going to get off for him.
No, I think that's the highest value they get. So, I mean, if that's what they get. If that's what the Jets want to do. If they want to draft it too, then that's one way out.
Yeah, and then that makes that second pick really easy for them.
And then they get the 20th.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Does that make the second pick easy? Who they take?
Actually, that's
Right.
true. I was like, it's easy. I was like, well, maybe not anymore.
But I just
If
think
they have another,
I still don't. I think it'd be really dumb if the Jets keep Donald and take a QB at 2.
yeah.
Why would you trade for a 23-year-old quarterback? And then,
If they
yeah.
if they don't,
Like, I just don't see the value in keeping Darnold when he
I don't
has some value, and taking a quarterback, and now you have you have a 23-year-old and a 21-year-old that you have both picked inside the top 5, and now it's like,
Ooh, QB competition.
right, like great. I don't know.
I definitely think it's trade and draft or keep Darnold and trade back.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
the option.
You have to.
if they're
And I
keeping
don't-
that second pick, like
I don't know if we're on the Jets right now. It's awesome.
Well,
they're in such a crazy position.
I'm struck. Like, I don't. I think this is a great deal for both sides. The more I talk myself into this,
What's it called?
they're not going to get a better deal.
They are 20 is probably the best they're going to get.
And that might even be kind of a
It probably is an
gamble
overpay,
for the
but
Bears. But
I
yeah,
think it's worth it for them.
For
Yeah.
sure.
For their window, for the window they have right
Yeah.
now, it's definitely worth
because they don't have to pay anyone, and they're not going to get anyone at 20.
it. Defense is only going to get worse.
The other 2 quarterbacks that he mentioned, Alex Smith was one of
I
them.
don't have a problem with that either.
You can get him for free now. It's like,
Right.
why not?
Game man, those your defensive thing.
And then the other one was Mariota.
I want
I
someone
don't mind
to
that either.
I want someone to roll the dice for Mariota.
I do too. I mean, I think it's a trap, but I do. I want to see him. I want to see him get that chance.
I agree. I think we might be just remember he had that one game this year with the Raiders where he did look a little bit dynamic, and we might be. But for the Bears, you need someone
It's
that's
a
going to
chance.
Your tackles
It's
are
hope.
horrible.
It's hope.
Your tackles are garbage. You need a quarterback that's going to be mobile. You cannot have Nick Foles be the guy.
The Raiders are sitting back right now. Someone's probably going to do it. I mean, and it probably should be the Bears.
What? Yeah. Okay. What the Bears? If they're going to trade that 20, would you rather have Mariota or Darnold?
I think they probably get Mariota for a second, but Darnold would be next.
Darnold would be the answer, but yeah, Mariota would not take as much.
Yeah.
I think he's less valuable than Darnold.
I mean, given his age and
Yeah,
Passive.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I would
Even a
want
second.
Darnold's the answer.
Probably over.
Second's probably overpaying, but I thought that's probably what they probably do. Or I think that's Raiders will want.
Yeah. How much years does Mariota have
I
left?
think they signed him to 1 or 2. I think it's a
Yeah.
2-year deal. It's like $8 million a year, not $8 million, like probably 6 or 7, maybe 8.
Weird. These
I mean, his situation with the Titans was so bad. I mean, he
I
had 3
totally
different
agree.
coaches. I mean, I think he definitely was in a tough spot, but I mean, I think he deserves that opportunity with somebody. I really think he has
He's making
the potential.
10. This is his last year on his deal. He's making $10 million
Wow. So
and no dead cap. But I think that's probably the. I think the Raiders don't want to cut him because of what they think they think they probably might. They're if they're going to capitalize at all, this is
It's time to do
the
it.
time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Guess how much he's made in the NFL? He's played 6 seasons.
Played 6 seasons, probably made probably 60, 65.
65 will be what he makes at the end of next season. Yeah. He made
Good
$21
for him.
million in 2019
He-
when
he-
he was traded.
He came to the league and everybody thought he'd be the savior for the Titans, and then,
Yeah, their situation was horrible.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything he could do.
It
So
didn't
so,
fit at all.
it went from fame to shame. It's just what it
Yeah.
is.
So you said he's making 10 right now?
Yeah.
Like for the 21-20, the
But this
2021
upcoming
season.
season, he will be making $10 million.
According to OregonLive.com, incentives in his contract could push it to 20.
Jeez.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he's not the guy. All those incentives are probably percentage of snaps played,
Yeah,
touchdowns,
he doesn't play.
Right.
MVP.
Yeah, what I'm saying but that's that's maybe a wall.
If he went to
that-
the Bears,
if someone wants to trade for him and he plays that much, then they might have to pay for 20
Right.
instead of 10.
Oh, let's look at this. Okay, contract notes: $200,000 per game in plays 60% of snaps.
Mhm.
$125,000 per win plus 60% of snaps. Max 1.5 per playing time plus win bonus. Max 2.2 million playing time plus wins plus playoffs. $625,000 2021 escalator for every 2020 game played in which he played 60% of snaps, which he only played 1. So I think they're just saying those bonuses go up for each game he played last year, which he didn't play any. If they win the Super Bowl, he gets $1 million. So
I really wish he would have gone to a team like the Ravens with a coach like John Harbaugh willing to build an offense around him, because they tried to turn him into a pro-style quarterback. That's
Do you
not what he
think,
does.
do you think
at
the
all.
Bears would do that?
I feel like Matt Nagy would try to mold him into whatever quarterback
Yeah.
he wants him to be. I don't know. I feel
Which
like
sucks.
it'd be a great situation.
And it sucks because that offense could really use a guy like Mariota.
Yeah, I think he would just be Trubisky part 2, because they would just try to.
But with higher,
Yeah.
in my opinion, a higher.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they want to turn to the Ravens offense, they could. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
about
think
their
they will.
pieces. I don't think they will either,
Bears.
but yeah, they could with the running system they have, and
Yeah.
Cohen coming out of there too. They signed Cohen to a contract, so
All right, boys, that's all I have. You guys got anything?
Bears do something. I mean,
Please.
give us. I'm not. I mean, we're not. None of us are Bears fans, but we want to like. They're wasting the window. I mean,
Yeah.
that defense is so good. Just do
Yeah.
something with it. Get the Packers out of here.
All right. I mean, I don't have anything else. You want to turn off YouTube? Later, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
We'll get caught on the line early. He can start his show right now. We're gonna go play some spike ball. So